once again, back to part 9. Of course, we have the hat deal going on here. Maison Blanche, which of course means the White House, which is a turn at the track Le Mans. Our friend Rick Wilson at maisonblanc.co.uk is a good friend of ours. He sent us a hat, and here it is, worn by Rick himself. Does a great website during Le Mans. Been down for a while because he's been busy. But Ricky, thanks for all what you've done for us through our times at Le Mans, and thanks for the hat. I will, as I always do, wear it proudly. It's a little big for me, Rick. You have a lot bigger head than I do. Anyway, I want to make sure, I got this white spot here. Well, I wonder why I always have that white spot there. I guess I'll just brush that off. Anyway, back to the car, enough with the comedy. Ricky, part 9, thank you. All right, what we're going to do now is start stripping the body. Now, we know that this thing was in a couple of wrecks in 1970 for sure. And then after that, David Piper crashed it. Or one of his drivers crashed it in the front too. So the front's been modified. We can see it underneath. We'll show you those pictures later. But what we do know is because the nose was replaced, there won't be any yellow paint on the base of it. There's lots of other colors. If my photographer would pan in here, you can see that basically this nose started out white, then went green, silver, black, blah, blah, blah. And then the yellow, which was before the Kramer brothers got the car to repaint it white for the Rosso Bianco Museum. Back to that past sticker from Silverstone in 1981. We'll leave that on there. We'll cover it up when we put the felt on the dash, but we'll leave it there. Now, zoom in here. Here's what I've already stripped. Now, I've done the color by color, and I've taken still photos on it, which will be at the gunnerracing.com website this week. But you can see, here's the base yellow. Now, as we grind on, as we show you more of this video today, this YouTube video, we'll get into the front and you'll see where there won't be a base yellow up front. But you can see the base yellow, then Piper's green, then white, then silver, then green, then silver, then black, then green, then silver or primer or whatever, back on the other side. So we're just going color to color, but now you've got the yellow that was painted before Kramer got the car. Possibly Vic Norman painted it yellow to make it like it was when it was at Le Mans in 1970. Now I'm going to say something here that everyone can listen to or not listen to. Because of this base yellow, there was only one car in 1970, early, that was yellow. And that, of course, was the David Piper driven Gijs Van Lennep, who we've talked to recently about this car, 917 from the AAW team, the Finnish team. The serial number was, here you go, 917021. Now there's a whole story about 917021, and we'll get into that story because, of course, there are two 917021s, including the Spider that we have already remade into a coupe, which is 91701021. Now, we'll talk about that Spider too, but of course on our website you can see the build of the Spider from the Colt car as it won the Inter Series back to us making it back into a Golf coupe, which is in America. Another story, but lots of 021 action going on. You can come and see the pictures, you can come see the paint, you can see the chassis, which will go to blasting. It will be media blasted in a few days. And then we'll get to the earthy of how this car began life and the chronological survey that we'll do, pointing out, if you bring the camera in here, the accidents inside the fender well. You can see inside here all the joints that were repaired, and we'll go from the original to the repair. Now, we've done many of these cars, and we know the difference of the materials, and we will take the paint off, and we will show you guys, the fans, all the repairs that David Piper's team did during the time that he had the car. We'll talk about the serial number and how we come up with the fact that it is indeed 021. So in the meantime, I'll keep grinding. We'll come back. Okay, I'm grinding the roof now, and they're still yellow on the base. So that means that the roof stayed original somewhere in this area. The nose was grafted on, and I'll find that out. But as you pan in here, I've got my glasses and, of course, my Ricky hat. You can start to see that as I'm coming through the paint, you can see the top yellow. And then underneath, as I go very light, I change from a 36 grit to a 150 50 grit paper to really get in there close, and you can start to see the shades of the yellow popping through. I wet it up a little. You can see the base coat yellow. So that's telling us that the roof is still the original roof. We'll get back to you in another few minutes. Okay, here I am again, an hour later, going for the seam of where the nose was placed. And I'm hand sanding to get through here slowly. You can already see all the yellow. Yeah, I left some of this red in here, which might be red primer. It might be something from the Lucky Strike deal, or whatever that cigarette sponsor was. But anyway, you can see, but come in here close, and you can start to see a seam. It's a joint as I hand sand this right in front of God and everybody to get to the layer of Bondo. You'll start to see the seam where they connected the nose to this A-pillar, which is what this thing is called, because it's important to know where that yellow paint stops and no yellow paint goes. So there's the light yellow right there. Put a little spit on there to make it bright. There's the red from the other paint scheme, and there's that joint. So yellow here from original, now a new nose from here over. So no yellow. So there's the telltale sign of the replacement of this nose. I'll keep going just to show you there's no yellow in there. But we'll be back. All right, here we're back for the final stage of this. After about 15 hours of grinding on only half of this thing, you can see that there's still on this apron, the roof apron, there's no yellow because it was ground up, but there is the colors that came when Piper got the car with the green. Okay, remember, this piece is new. Now, after another crash, you can see the seam here. There was no green color up here, it was just the white. Probably Kramer repaired this. When the back got whacked, the front got whacked too, or vice versa. So this, there was only white paint. The seam here where they put this piece completely on. Now I left little pieces of the green first. When Piper got this thing, it had a white nose on it, replaced it Porsche. Now then we have the seam. The yellow original here with the green and whatnot. And then this side, I took all the paint off, but of course the first layer of paint was green. I saved all this original yellow paint. This is more than likely, I won't guarantee it, but I'll rest my life on it. The original yellow from the AAW team at Le Mans 1970. And then you can see the two shades of yellow. This brighter yellow, and then this a little more dirty yellow, I guess, or more like a signal yellow. And then all these patches which I saved, including this little area which we'll put the laser profit on, a little machine that will tell us what paint code or color that is, and then we'll mix the original paint from the sample that's underneath this tape. I have the tape here because as soon as we're done with this, I'm going to start taking the rest of the paint off the rest of the car. Anyway, for our friends at Mont Saint Blanc, Ricky Wilson, thanks for the hat. You do a great job with the website. Get it back going, buddy. Le Mans coming. Again, all you guys can keep sending hats in. We have a pretty good supply, and we'll be doing these updates once or twice a week now. Thanks for being patient, and c'est la vie.